Hello everyone, in this video we will discuss continental drift theory, its evidences and drawbacks and tectonic activity. Important concepts that try to explain the tectonic processes are continental drift theory, sea floor spreading theory and plate tectonic theory. This sea floor spreading theory and plate tectonic theory has been explained in previous lecture. Now we will discuss continental drift theory. Continental drift refers to movement of continents relative to each other. See, the movement of plates can be of convergent, divergent, okay, this convergent, divergent and transform. This I have explained in every lecture, so you may watch. Okay, sea floor spreading describes the movement of oceanic plates relative to one another. Now plate tectonic theory is the movement of lithospheric plates relative to each other. Continental drift theory was put forward by Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist, polar explorer, astronomer and geologist. He is in fact known as a father of continental drift theory. According to Wegener, all the continents formed a single continent mass which are termed as Pangaea, which means all earth. This supercontinent was surrounded by a mega oceans known as Panthelas, means the continents are Pangaea and oceans are Panthelas. Okay. Subsequently, Laurasia and Gondwana continued to break into various smaller continents that exist today. Thus, Wegener proposed that continents are floating and constantly drifting on the Earth's surface. His hypothesis later on became the basis of present-day plate tectonic theory. Now, this one was the Pangaea, which is known as continent, and the whole oceanic parts is known as Panthelas. Okay. In third stage, the Tethys Sea progressively filled the area between Laurasia and Gondwana. Okay, see, suppose this one is the Laurasia and this one is the Gondwana, and this Tethys Sea filled up the part of Laurasia and Gondwana. Okay, now in fourth stage, around 100 million years ago, when North and South America drifted westward, resulting in emergence of Atlantic Ocean. Okay, this North and South America, when it moved westward, this further formed the Atlantic Ocean. The Rockies and Andes were formed by westward drift of North and South America. That is, the Rockies of North America and Andes of South America were formed by westward drift. Okay, the orogenetic stage in which mountain building activity took place is the fifth stage. So this was the stages of development of continents and oceans. Okay, the Himalaya and Alps were constructed by folding of Tethys Sea deposit. Now, evidence in support of continental drift theory is the apparent affinity of physical feature, botanical evidences, placer deposits, tillite deposits, polar wandering, distribution of fossils and rocks of same ages across the ocean. Now, discussing these evidences in more detailed manner, suppose starting with the matching of continents, that is jigsaw fit. Okay, when facing one another, the shorelines of South America and Africa form a similarity. Similarly, when matched, Africa, Madagascar and India's east coast all fit together. See this one, this Africa and this Madagascar region. The bulge of Brazil in South America seems to fit in the Gulfs of Guiana in Africa. The Greenland seems to fit in the well with Elmery and Baffin Island of Canada. The west coast of India, Madagascar and Africa seems to have been joined. North and South America on one side and Africa and Europe on the other fit along with mid-Atlantic ridge. Okay, see, it's talking about here. Okay, now the Caledonian and Hercynian mountain of Europe and the Appalachians of USA seems to be one continuous series. See, these are mainly examples which are giving evidences to this continental drift theory. Okay, now discussing some more evidences as Permo-Carboniferous glaciations. It presents strong proof that at one point in time these landmasses were assembled together. Since the evidences of this glaciation is found in Brazil, Falkland Island, South Africa, the Indian Peninsula as well as Australia, it is difficult to explain this extensive glaciation on basis of the existing distribution of land masses and water. According to Wegener, at the time of Pangaea, the only land, the South Pole, was situated near Durban of present coast of South Africa. Now, further distribution of fossils, which states that identical species and animals were found on both sides of marine barrier. For example, Mesosaurus, a freshwater crocodile like reptiles that lived between 286 and 258 million years ago is found in South Africa and East South America. Now this evidence states that same fossils and animal deposits were found on the coast of two continents. Now further discussing paleoclimatic evidences, as coal deposits have been found in temperate and polar region. However, coal is formed in tropical region. That is, coal is formed in tropical region, but still it has been found in temperate and polar region. So this might say that, or this statement actually gives the evidences that this all region were previously as a single continent, and further as the time passed they all bifurcated or moved away from each other. Now biological evidences: the lemmings have the tendency to migrate westward for the search of land. Okay, but these creatures have no idea that land has shifted westward and the sea awaits for their mass suicide. That is, migratory pattern of some animal species also hint towards the joint landmass. For example, the entire lemming rodent populations crosses North America and falls in Atlantic. This is estimated that they have not forgotten their roots when the landmasses were joined. This might have traveled to Europe and Central Asia. Criticism of continental drift theory. The continental drift theory was undeniably convincing, but so much of the theory was based on speculation and inadequate evidences, it provoked a lot of criticism and controversy. Okay, the greatest criticism of this theory was due to controversial forces which were started to have caused the drift. That is, what was the main factor, or what was the external or internal force which made this continent to move away from each other. The main turning point of this theory was from here. Okay, according to expert, had the gravitational force of the moon or sun was so strong to cause the landmass to break, then it would have stopped the rotation of earth and made it stationary. But also, in order to cause a drift in landmasses, the rotation required should be at such a high speed that it would have thrown the atmosphere, the gases and everything else in outer space away from the earth's gravitational pull. That is, if the forces, that is the pull of sun or moon, would have done this, it would have thrown the atmosphere away from space. It would have thrown this atmosphere and everything else in the outer space away from Earth's gravitational pull. Now, some more statements or some more evidences which are still not been defined with the help of continental drift theory are: pre-Carboniferous history are still not known with continental drift theory. Why only northward and westward drift was taking place, which wasn't explained by continental drift theory. Sial floating over Sima, in reality the lithosphere is floating on asthenosphere. So actually this isn't taking place. Actually the lithosphere is floating on the asthenosphere. The formation of mountain Rockies of South America and Andes of North America due to friction by Sima is self-contradictory. Did not explain the formation of oceanic ridges and island arcs. Okay, now further, the continental drift theory was rejected by the majority of scientists and it was intensely disputed for decades following his death in 1930. The concept of convectional current in upper mantle was conceived in 1920s. However, due to his early death, Alfred Wegener was unable to add the concept of convectional current as the most compelling rationale for continental movement. Although the continental drift theory is no longer valid, the central premises of theory was the driving force behind all the subsequent modern hypotheses, such as plate tectonic and seafloor spreading theory. And further, plate tectonic theory and seafloor spreading theory has been discussed in my next lecture. So kindly please watch it out. Thanks.